Hello and welcome to the 2024 Formula One Italian Grand Prix. I'm choosing the Red Bull car because I think it's going to be the best or one of the best. And we're going to fly right into this. Very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to buy all the upgrades I need to finish. That'll be upgrades of all fives, which will cost you just over 1.7 million M dollars and 435 gold. You could get back 200,000 M dollars and 70 gold. So final cost just over 1.5 million M dollars and 365 gold. Now, that's more than a recommended PR event, but that's not bad for a car like this. Like with this level of performance, I'm really excited. I haven't driven these cars. This is it. And I'm babying this thing a little bit because usually that much grip would be a disaster. But it's the first race, so I don't think they're setting this too crazy difficult. Let's just see here how much we can push it at Parabolica. Again, I'm going to kind of take it easy. Now, I will not do any bot slowing or any bot management. If you're not familiar with those terms, that's usually what we do in recommended PR events to make sure the costs stay low and the event doesn't get too difficult. These are usually meant to be easy events. So they design these events so even if you're racing with assists, you should be able to finish this event with reasonable skill level, like nothing crazy, and with driving assists, with the recommended upgrades, or required upgrades in this case. Difference between recommended and required upgrades. Recommended upgrades means that you can enter a race even if you are below the PR. With required PR, you would not be able to enter a race if you don't have the necessary PR level. Now, I've bought enough to finish the very last race. So the plus side of that is I'm just going to fly through this. I'm not going to take my time at all. I'll have higher earnings. I might hit the cap of $250,000. I might hit that, and then I'm not going to earn anything more, but we'll just see. And yeah, it shouldn't be difficult, but I'm going to find out for you guys. So I'm going to see what happens if I go as hard as I can for this entire event. Like, I'm going to get position 5, it looks like. It's like I'm not going to be able to get up to 4. I mean, there he is. But that's it. There we go. And average speed. So I'm going to start pushing this car more and more. I'm going to kind of go with the assumptions of a 2023 car, although I'm used to driving those fully upgraded now. So I'm going to have to baby this a little bit. But I'm very familiar with Monza in these cars. So like the Ascari chicane here. By the way, I took that wrong. They're going to drive in formation until the start-finish line. So he's going to be he's on the right. That means the next guy is going to be staying in the left-hand lane. So he's going to really overbrake Parabolica. I should have been going to the inside. Oh well, I'm used to taking Parabolica a certain way. And then after the start-finish line, as we head to the first chicane, they're going to fall. They're going to drive more typically at that point. Now, I'm not quite sure of my braking points yet. I might be braking a bit deep, maybe a little bit. Average speed, I mean, boy, it's not hard to... The nice thing about having the upgrades you need to finish the series, really easy to do these early races. Like hitting average speed is absolutely no problem at all. Now, blasting through this, ooh, a little hop there. These corners in the 2023 car, you can take shockingly fast. And so, I mean, I've got traffic, so I can't do too much here. Like in the Ascari chicane, it's possible I just need to lift a tiny bit, or maybe not even at all. But I'm not quite sure yet, so I'm taking it a little bit easy. I'd love to get 4th place. It looks like 5th place should be attainable. Maybe. We'll just see here. Yep, I'll definitely get 5th. Can I get 4th, though? That's what I'd like to know. Oh, and I've got to remember to turn the bot names on. I keep that off. Oh, there he is. I'm not going to get him. I keep the bot names off for when I'm doing time trials. I find it very distracting. I find it each lap within 130. I don't think that is going to be a problem. So I find it very distracting when I'm doing a time trial, and as you're racing a ghost, the name will kind of flash back and forth, and I just find it distracting. I really need to concentrate during time trials, so I turn off the names, and I turn off the avatars. I keep the avatars off most of the time, but for an event like this, I typically turn the names back on. I'll just have to find a place to do it here. And, oh, we have 2 laps, okay. So this will be a higher paying race. I mean, we're going to be in the lead in no time. Catch a nice toe here. Whoopsie. That's interesting. Probably just damaged my front wing, but we'll find out. Okay, so like this, I should be able to take this full throttle, actually. That's not bad. Now, a good reason for that is I was quite slow entering the chicane, so I knew I was very low on speed. Wow, hitting the 355s. Now, if you're a hardcore Formula One player, you might be getting upset about how I'm driving a little bit, that I'm taking 2 tires off track a lot. That's what you do in this game. That's normal in Real Racing 3, and if you want to be competitive in time trials in this game, you just need to learn the limits of this game. If people could do it in real life, they would, but you can't take 2 tires on the grass in real life. Well, not very often. I've definitely seen it, but like, whoa, that's just all over the track. Obviously braking too late. Okay, I'm taking mental notes. This is me figuring out the track on this car. People often ask me about, like, how do you drive with no assists? So, don't know if you noticed that. I've got tilt B controls. You can see that from the gas and brakes on there. And yeah, I use tilt B. All of my assists are off. Now, oops, took that a little bit too much. And this is how I figure it out, just through trial and error. So, you really just need to learn the track in one car. And then you've got your reference points. I mean, that's not fully true. In some cars, there'd be a lot more braking points. But woo! But once you learn a track in a couple of cars, let's just say that. You learn a track in a couple of cars, then you're just tweaking what you already know. So, like here, I'm braking so deep for this car. If I was driving a Bugatti, I'd be braking like way further back. And I know there's braking markers I would be using. But I'm not driving a Bugatti, I'm driving a Formula One car. So anyway, you think about a car that's similar to the one you're driving, use those braking points and adjust. 6 unique cars. Okay, so that means you can't let a car pass you and then pass it again. It won't count. You need to pass 6 cars. Most likely, this race will end as soon as I pass 6 cars. So the temptation is to drive this thing full speed, take a big off-track cut here right at the start and the race would end. But I'm not going to do that. What is he doing? Oh, he was braking with his tires off track. That's funny. I thought maybe someone was blowing up, but we haven't seen that kind of thing in the game before where smoke would be coming out of an engine. Actually, that's not true. In NASCAR, you can total cars and smoke will be coming out of the hood. So, yeah, that is true in NASCAR. So, there we go. It just ends. So this is flying by pretty quick. There we go. That's all of stage 1. Not a problem. So here we are at stage 2 and finish the race in under 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Average speed. So when does that timer start? Probably right now. Yeah. Huh. I wonder how much time that's going to give me at the line. Well, I'm definitely not a minute away from the start-finish line. No way. Like, with these upgrades, I think I'm doing a lap in just over a minute. Like a minute, I don't know, minute 6, minute 7 maybe? Not quite sure yet. So, suffice to say, I think they're giving us piles of time. Now, but I've got traffic to deal with. So when I talk about those lap times, that would be with no traffic in the way. Oh my goodness, look at that average speed. It's going to hit 300. I won't be able to maintain that, but that's quite shocking. Yeah, because these are back guys. Oopsie, oh, that's not good. Well, there goes my average speed. I'm not going to restart this race. Let's just see what this is like. Let's see how hard this is. That's a big mistake. I definitely damaged my car, which means I've just hurt my top speed, acceleration, grip, and brakes. And I probably gave up, 5-6 seconds of my lap. But I mean, I still have a minute. I mean, yeah, oops, that was definitely an off-track cut. I overcut that chicane, that's for sure. At this point, they're not penalizing me for that. So, yippee-ki-yay. Oh yeah, just flying by these guys. Now, of course, my earnings will be less because I made a big mistake. Big boo-boo. So let's go through this Ascari chicane. We'll get one guy here, another guy near the exit. No, not that near the exit. I'll get him before Parabolica, though. Piles of time on the clock there, even with that massive mistake. Like, from here, I'm about 10 seconds from the start-finish line, I think. It was about 32 on the clock when I said that on the countdown timer. So let's see if I'm accurate there. 3, 2, Okay, well, I was more like 11 seconds. Oops, off 1 second. Flying through this very quickly. Place at least 11th without any damage. Okay, so, you know, sometimes you see me rubbing up against cars. I'm trying to catch side draft, so I'll just have to not do that necessarily as much. You can still contact guys, but you've got to be careful. Sometimes we get stages where it says, in fact, it might have said it, don't force anyone off track. If you contact someone right before a corner and they end up going off track on their own, you'll fail, which sometimes confuses people. So just don't touch people when you're near a corner and you'll be fine. But I've had that happen before where I was touching someone heading to a corner and then they drove off track for whatever reason and I got the fail. And it's like, really? It's not my fault you don't know how to drive. Scrape, get a push. I always like to catch some of that, let's turn those names on. I always like to catch a push from other cars, so you get up and catch the slipstream as you pass. It's a habit of mine. It's a good habit to have. It doesn't do a lot, but it definitely does. Oops, that was off track again. It definitely does something. I've noticed this definitely at places like Spa, going up Kemmel, where in some cars you can't accelerate beyond a certain point. So then you can really notice getting a push will sometimes give you an extra 1 or 2 kilometers an hour, which over the whole Kemmel Straight does make a difference. That's a long section. Like at Spa, from corner 1 to the top of La Combe is 25% of a lap. Quarter of a lap is there. And in a car like this, you're full throttle that from corner 1 to La Combe. So yeah. Oh look, I'm up in 3rd place now. Nice. Not going to get 2nd, but that's okay. Nice to get that 3rd place finish. This event flies by pretty quick. You can get this event done in under an hour. Hit a top speed. Now that's interesting. Because of how much you can keep this car pinned, I might end up having to add some speed points. How far back I am? Okay, I should be able to get to the lead, no problem. Here pretty quick. Come on, guys. I want you to get out of my way. I really can't afford to catch much slipstream. I'm going to push it and try to hit one here. Now, I drove it in too deep because I was trying to hit a speed target there once. Hit speed target here again. And then, actually, from this point to the end of the lap, I think I could stay over 300. So I'm going to have to make sure I go below speed. Like for here, I'm definitely going below 300. But what I'm saying is, through this corner, I could keep it over 300. I went, let's see there. And I'm gonna be careful here. Yeah, look at that. But I'll just overbrake a little bit. Like Parabolica, I would probably slow down more than 300. Curious how fast I can take the Ascari chicane. Wow. I think I could have taken it faster than that. I didn't slow down very much. You notice that? Didn't go below 330, I don't think. I need to hit speed again here, so I'll overbrake Parabolica. And then I've met the requirement. You don't want to finish a race without meeting the requirements. That's annoying. And you got to do it over again. And unless you really enjoy it, no use doing that. A little slide at the line. And I think, yeah, we're at the last race here. Each lap in 1:26. Don't go off track for more than 3 seconds. Okay, that'll be interesting. I'm going to push this a little bit. Does it give us a 3? Is there a decimal place? There's a decimal place. Awesome. So I'm going to push the limits a little bit, and you're going to get a chance to see what actually is off track in this game versus what's off track in professional racing. And I mean, bear in mind, like if you want to drive between the white lines at all times, you go for it. They don't do that in real racing. A lot of people who complain to me about that, I don't think they pay attention, because I was watching Interlagos, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Interlagos. I was watching a race there, I forget whose lap time it was, watching his pole. It was interesting how many times he had 2 tires way over the white line. Like not a little bit, way over, multiple corners. So it's not that they don't do it. I think people just aren't paying attention, who get really nitpicky about it. Anyhow, it doesn't really matter. In this game, you can do it, so you do it. Any Formula 1 player playing this game would figure that out, and they'd go, oh, I can do this, I'm doing it. Because it's all about what saves time. That's what it's about. Okay, this will give you an interesting indicator. My next lap, I'm approaching this at a great speed. So I'm still not really sure at my first braking point here. I might mess this up. It wasn't bad. that wasn't bad. I definitely need to improve that. For a time trial, that would not be good. But that was okay. And I'm not quite sure about this. I'm braking kind of just at the overhead banner here, a little bit after it. Blast this. That would be allowed. Very good. Take this very fast. Very slight lift point there. Do I want to take this full? You might have noticed I did a micro lift, like maybe 1/100th of a second lift there. It was very short. Here, I think I'm going to brake a little bit. Oh, I only dropped to 340. Holy smokes, can you take that fast? And you can see I haven't been off track for even 1/10 of a second yet. Oh, that's pretty good. I could have pushed that a little bit more. So this will give us a good indicator. I'm guessing it's about 107 or 105. Oh my, that's quite surprising. High 105s. Wow. I'm really liking these 2024 cars. Okay, that takes care of stage 2. Here we are at stage 3. Overtake 6 opponents before your tires warm up. Okay, that's interesting. Huh. So then, if your tires were getting too warm and you hadn't overtaken 6 people yet, what could you do? Well, go drive off track. If you drive off track, it's going to really pull that out of the tires, I think. But here's another one where we could just keep it pinned full throttle to the first chicane and probably pass 6 cars and just end the race like right now. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this carefully. Do it legit. Keep it all copacetic. I haven't used that word for. I don't know if I really ever use that word, copacetic. Hope I'm using it correctly. I think I am. If not, whatever. Let me know. Let's see. They're a lot more spread out. I might not see anyone. Probably one more guy at the second chicane here. And, oh, well, there's another one. Okay. And so the race will end pretty quick. I'm not going to have too much heat in those tires. 50-something. I'm taking it a little bit careful. I don't want to get tangled up here. There we go. As you can see, I'm not taking this slow at all. Like, we're going. Okay, finish the next few laps in 3 minutes with a slipstreaming requirement of 5,000 yards. Or was that meters? It might have been yards. Let's see here. Yes, it was 5,000 yards. Okay, well, it doesn't matter because you know very well that it's neither yards nor is it meters, which we'll maybe see we'll see more of that in a different race. Don't want to get too tangled up here. Okay, so I'll get all my slipstreaming in, and if you know Monza, you know we have not traveled 1.5 kilometers at this point. Definitely not. So obviously it is not that unit of measure. I don't think we've talked about that for a while. My goodness. Almost getting all of this in. Now slipstreaming doesn't kick in till a certain speed, like 120 something kph, kilometers per hour. I forget exactly. I used to know that, but it's not in my brain right now. Someone knows, they can let me know in the comments if they know the exact speed. And now it's definitely go time. Surprising I've got 2 laps to get this done. Alright, well, we'll just push the limits of this car more. Okay, so if you've been around my channel before, you know that the unit of measure being used is Roman cubits. And no one knows why it's Roman cubits. But when I was doing research to try to figure out what is this unit of measure, because I did the math on the unit of measure, and it's like 17.48 inches or 44.444 centimeters, which works out to basically, for every meter I drive, I'm getting credited 2.25 meters. Very strange. And I remember I talked to the head developer about this, who was involved in the creation of the game. I think he was. Well, anyways, he was a head developer at the time. And he had no idea how it happened. It definitely wasn't intended. They can't fix it. So, like, they could fix this on a go-forward basis. But if they fix it across the game, that's going to ruin flashback events. Because we had a NASCAR event. Whoa! I blew that one. I couldn't push it that much. We had a NASCAR event where the slipstreaming requirement was actually longer than the amount of laps they gave us. So obviously they've learned that that's the way this is. And actually in that particular race, it was at Daytona. And you had to be slipstreaming almost the entire race to get it done, which was actually a lot of fun. Or if it's NASCAR, we're going to say drafting. because that's typically what you hear in NASCAR. But here we are at Formula One, so it's slipstreaming. All sorts of time left over on this clock. I can afford to be a little bit crazy if I want to. Which, that was definitely a bit crazy to do that. Okay. Okay, now we need a lead with no damage, which will be no problem. Lead with at least 400 meters. Oh, we're only going to have a lap to get this done. My out lap, I'm going quite slow. Hamilton's behind me already. Okay, so... and I'm not starting this lap with as much speed. If I had control of the car before Parabolica, I was hitting start-finish line with about 350 kilometers an hour. Looks like I'll get the lead just after the second chicane. Charles Leclerc. That's what it's looking like. And then I'm going to really blast around this guy, Perez. I'm going to just take off on these corners. I can take this full throttle. I could probably take this full throttle if I get the race line just right. But, oh, I didn't get the race line just right. I did do a micro lift, which saved my butt. I would have gone way off track if I hadn't. Now I'm heading into the Ascari chicane slower than normal, which means I could get away with less. Oh my goodness. That is, yeah, you can take, I've taken that faster, but boy, that feels great. And then Parabolica, I'm going to have a ridiculous lead. I'm going to have over a 1 kilometer lead on this guy, because he's going to really overbreak Parabolica. Let's just see how much of a lead it turns into. He's gaining, and then, oh, he's going to fall way far back. Oh, wow, yeah. Anyway. He hadn't even really hit Parabolica yet, so that's a joke. Set the fastest lap. These are weird to me, because you're in a gaggle of traffic, and as soon as you set the fastest lap, you're in first place, but there's still cars all around you. I always find that odd. And you can't... Ooh! Well, this is a wonderful start, isn't it? I tried to keep it pinned. Which means I'm going to start my next lap definitely slower than I should be. 330s, yeah, 320s actually. Oh well. Competition's been pretty abysmal, so I'm not too concerned. Oh, that would have been off track, I believe. Even in Real Racing 3. Sometimes you only need one tire on track. Sometimes you can cut some of those corners quite sharp and get away with it in this game. They take that chicane so strange. Okay, well, there's another mistake. Although the first mistake was prior to the lap start. Ah, this is not good, though. Yeah, I better keep this full throttle. Okay, Alonso, I want to get around you before the Ascari chicane. Perfect. And then I like to catch someone else. Not till the exit of the chicane. I don't want to catch him in the middle. Russell, this will be good. I'll get a bit of a tow. Get a bit of a push. There you go. Anytime your speed turns yellow, you're slipstreaming, in case you don't know. Almost hit 360. Just on the cusp of it. Okay, well, let's see. 119s. 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 118. Well, I was a lot better, even though I made several mistakes. Oh, going in here a little bit bad. And we're squirrely there. Oh, boy. Making mistakes, but I'm still making some distance here. Second chicane. Okay, so this is where it's weird. I'm in first place, but I'm not in first place. I am and I'm not. Okay, well, I can overtake both these guys in the next two corners. See an outside pass here, I would say. Yes. And I'll have to brake a little bit because of how much he's going to brake and do a nice slipstream. Do a slingshot around him. Not sure which of my laps is going to be faster. You'd think it would be this one. Oh, boy. Encountering this guy at the worst part of the chicane. Come on. Come on. Come on. Oh! Good grief, that was sloppy. Oh, well, obviously, I mean, the nice part about having all these upgrades is... oh, now I'm entering Parabolica completely in the wrong spot. I don't have anything to worry about, obviously. So you can make multiple mistakes and you're going to be fine. So, yeah. I mean, that was not... neither of those laps were good. My first lap was actually better. Okay, well, that takes us to the end of Stage 3. Here we are, Stage 4. If you've just time-stamped over here, I've already got the upgrades I need to finish the event. And if you want to know those costs, they're at the beginning of the video, so go back there and see the costs. The average speed requirement is higher. There we go, I got to the lead nicely, and then we just do what we've been doing. So with no one in front of me, I can push the limits a little bit more. Now I'm taking the long way this time just because you build up more speed. So, but I'm going to still take a very straight path through the chicane. And then I'm going to take this really fast. No, I did do a micro lift. It wasn't really necessary though. Sometimes I get nervous, and so I still do. There. Okay, take the wide path around here. Took a while to get that average speed build up. Very nicely though. I did brake a little bit there. I don't want to do this race twice. But boy, that average speed's building up pretty fast. Obviously, no problem. Again, having the upgrades you need to finish the event at the beginning is very handy. Oh, I didn't take that very good. Because there's just nothing to worry about. 280. Oh yeah, no trouble at all here. Okay, things should start to get interesting, I think. Hit a speed of 321 6 times. Okay. Regulate the engine temperature. Okay, well, we'll see if... I don't know if the engine... So the engine temperature is building. Originally with engine temperature... Oh, I forgot their information. With engine temperature, when you got off the throttle, it would reset. But this looks like it won't. Okay. Well, we've still got a whole lap in front of me and lots of cars in front of me. I think I'm just going to I'm going to push it. Like, I could do a lot of coasting. Although with these cars, the engine braking is quite a lot. Well, it's not bad. It's not bad. No, it's not like some LMP1 cars where the engine braking is insane, or the McLaren MP4X, or the F14T. I think the 412 is the same way, where they have pretty aggressive engine braking. These don't have as much. But so you could coast and not use up as much engine. But I don't think it's going to be a problem, so I'm going to kind of push it here. I'm going to have to find a few more places to hit speed. I might have to hit speed twice in some sections. Well, one more here. One more on the back straight. Oh, okay, never mind. I decided to hit it twice here. Just because engine temperature is already getting in the yellow. Oh, interesting. They're stacked up a little bit. I wasn't expecting that. Huh. Well, can I get up in second place? I don't think so. I don't think I see anybody. Oh, well. Oh, I'm not going to catch him, though. And the engine temperature, yeah, it's fine. We're not going to redline. Okay, well, there you go. So you can really ignore the engine temperature and just drive it. Like, whatever. Get drafted for 20 seconds and get to position 10. Okay, so this means as soon as you pass someone, dive in front of them. Now, these really slow cars, we won't be able to get very much out of these guys. I don't like that there's no decimal place, but that's okay. I just did get a tiny bit, but it didn't register. But it still counts. It's just not showing it. It's just rounding it off to the nearest second. And they're probably doing that because there'd be a lot of numbers there. Oh my. So I'm not worried about this. I'm going to wait till I get to the faster cars to really... Now, right now, I don't know if I'm getting... No, I'm getting a toe. Because if I was getting a push, that would have registered. So don't grind across them too much if you want to get a nice push. Don't tag them. If you tag them, they're going to hit the brakes. What I mean is, if you give them, I often give them a bit of a nudge with my rear wheel. Don't do that, because then they slam on the brakes. Even there, he seemed to brake quite a lot. But you can see it's starting to add up. Oh, wow. Field's really stacked up, too. So I'm not going to get too close to him. Yeah, there you go. 9 seconds so far. And then the Ascari chicane, he's going to really overbrake. And then Leclerc. They brake at the exit of that chicane, which just drives me crazy. They don't do that in real racing. Oh well. Once you get up to really high-level bots, they stop doing that. But you often don't see that until you have hit the perpetual point in an endurance race. And that might have made no sense to some of you people. But in an endurance race, Once you pass the 42nd car, a whole bunch of cars will appear in front of you, and you can just keep going on forever and ever. And this track is the hardest track to do it in a Formula One car. Silverstone is also very difficult, but not too difficult for me, actually. But in this track, holy smokes, one of the hardest races I ever did was in the 2023 Formula One car, one of the hardest endless endurance races I ever did. It's you have to take a bunch of cuts, and even then, it's shockingly difficult. Cars are faster than fully upgraded after the perpetual point. I'll put a link to that at the end just because you might find it interesting. And yeah, it's quite the challenge. It's an interesting way to get your daily 250,000. There's faster ways to do it, but it just gets really boring to run 20 lap and 19 lap races. I mean, you can just, well, how many times can you lap the entire field? That's what that race becomes about. Whereas anyway, I'll show it to you and you can see it. And obviously this is pretty easy. I didn't have any trouble with that, getting that in there. So make sure we're in position 8 before the end of the lap. Oh, because there's a problem with the car. Okay, so it looks like we have severely degrading tires. I've lost 3% before I even had control of the car. To make sure your tires don't degrade faster, don't get all 4 tires off track, okay? You'll degrade way faster if you get 4 tires off track. 2 tires off track, just fine. 4 tires off track, it's gonna fall a lot faster. And I've still got 2 full laps to go. I'm gonna get as much as I can off the start here. 86%, like at this point, 85%, you can still drive this pretty aggressively. Once you get below 80 though, typically you've got to start to get pretty careful. Well, below 80, not very careful, but progressively more and more careful. So I need to make up as much time as I can before I get down to like 50%, because then I'm gonna have to really start to baby this car. I'd like to get in the lead. Yeah, see that? He just nails it. Whoa! Oh. Okay. I thought the only thing we had to worry about was our car's tires. That was completely unexpected. Dead cars on the track. I thought maybe the bots crashed, but you don't. Huh. Okay. In NASCAR, you can total a car and it'll just sit there and spin on the track. They had to do that because they used to be zombie cars. Wish I could show you guys. Anyway, old footage. I've got old footage of it. The zombie cars. They would actually drive backwards at ridiculously high speeds and attack you. I loved it actually. It was hilarious. And for some reason, the only way for them to fix zombie cars was to make it so they sat there rotating. Anyway, that's what they do. And originally, you could total the entire field, which became a fun game. We'd make parking lots of cars on the track. Now you can only total half the field. It's still fun. But, okay, now I got to start babying the car, but I didn't encounter dead cars anywhere else. I'm just still not sure what happened. Boy, that caught me off guard. So this is where I was encountering dead cars. There we go. Oh, look. And that was the first place car. Did he crash? He must have crashed. He must have just crashed. Very interesting. Okay, now I've got really low grip. So you're going to see I'm babying it a lot more. I don't want to lose it. I do have a substantial lead, and so far, well, the back end felt a little bit loose there. So far, I haven't really lost it. Boy. Yeah, so if you're not careful, you're going to plow into those guys between the first and second chicane. That's the only place where there's dead cars, is between that. And there was less dead. No, there was the same amount. Anyway, that really threw me for a loop. Okay, well, there we go. Obviously, there was a problem on the track. So here, be careful. Oh, there you go. It stepped out on us into the gravel. And you can see I lost. It went down faster after I got on the gravel. But that's why you get a lead as fast as possible. Do a big donut across the track there. Okay, well, that's the end of stage 4. Let's see what's left for us. Okay, welcome to stage 5. Let's finish this. See what we got to do. Stay under. Oh, this one's really annoying. You can't go over a speed. I found this view was handy because I could keep my eyes on the speed. Could barely see the speed the other way. Let's go 4 times regular speed because this is just annoying. Just sit there. You see how I'm feathering the throttle a lot? That's what you do. You just feather, 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 feather. If you go over 160, you fail, like 162, whatever it is. But if you go too slow, you fail because someone's going to pass you. So that's it. Feather, 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 feather. Thankfully, there's not a whole additional lap of that because that was annoying. Oh, look at this. 10,000 yards, 9,144 meters. Really? Okay. I'm going to do no slipstreaming until the last lap. And you know Monza's like 7,000 some meters. So that should be impossible. You just watch. You can see that, this will be me proving that it's actually Roman cubits. And you can do the math on it if you want to, but anyway, I'm going to stay away from these guys. Catching a push is fine, because that's not slipstreaming. They mean slipstreaming from behind, not from in front. Okay, so that's not hard to not catch any slipstreaming. I mean, I love slingshotting around people, but I'll avoid it. Okay. Second chicane. We got a pretty spread out field here. It might be a mistake for me to do no slipstreaming. Whatever. I'll avoid. Now at this speed, oh no, I could get slipstreaming at that speed. That was still fast enough to engage it. Nicely around here. Okay, you get around the outside, a nice little push. Okay, so far, no slipstreaming. And with how fast it adds up, like 17 inches or 44.444 centimeters, you guys know, like if I'm behind these guys at all, it's going to trigger. Stay away from him. I'll probably get the lead here before this race is over. Okay, Parabolica, there's another guy up there. I'm going to have to start slipstreaming pretty soon. Leclerc. I want to wait until I'm into the next. Well, I better start. I'm almost a little bit nervous in case I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm not staying behind you, Leclerc. We're going to go on to the next dude. Valtteri. Get some nice slipstream off you. I'd like to be able to win this race, just because winning is nice and winning is fun. But I also have an awful lot of slipstreaming to get done. So maybe I'll hang out with Valtteri here. Let's just see. Yeah. Oh, he's going slow. Driving me crazy, man. Valtteri Bottas, as the British will say. They really emphasize the end, which is not necessarily how you say his name, but oh well, that's what people are used to hearing from the announcers, so that's fine. Yeah, I'm hanging out. Come on, Valtteri, you're driving so slow. I mean, I'm staying away from him just to make sure that I can, because we're not supposed to get damaged. Come on, let's get this in before Parabolica. Yahoo! Bye-bye, I'll leave you alone. Well, yeah. I mean, there's second place. Oh well, don't need to win every race. Not a big deal. So we'll just, that'll finish off this race, and haven't had much that's that interesting yet. Okay, so this one's interesting. Reach position 3 before the timer runs out. And you need to reach position 3 and then stay in position 3. Okay? I had to do this race twice because I went beyond position 3. And that is not what it wants you to do, but it's not very clear. Now, 112 at this speed, 112 is easily enough time to finish a lap. Like, I can easily finish the whole lap on that. And so that's what I did. But that ended up being a mistake. So, you'll see what I mean here. If you face this, if you try this yourself, if you finish in second or first place, you will fail this race. So you get to position 3 and then hold, which is going to be a problem for my timer, which had me really nervous. So there's third place in sight right now. And once I get in front of him, I can fly up to second place. And then that's going to have to be about it. So with 30 seconds on the clock, I'm already in third place. Catch a push. Very careful catching that push. And you'll see it's not hard. to catch second place. But I'm just gonna, I don't need to catch second place. Even now, I could just, if I pushed it, I could reach that start-finish line. But to do so, I'd have to fly by Leclerc. So, yeah, I mean, our senses tell us don't let the timer run out. But look, timer runs out, and it feels like you just failed. Nope, that is exactly what you have to do. That's how you have to pass that race. So, same thing in this one. Get your minimum. I was actually concerned about the average speed requirement and having to stay in position 2. So, first thing you want to do, take the long way around the track. Take the long way around Parabolica. After the first chicane, I'm going to take the long way around to getting to the second chicane. Oh, I'm hitting average speed. Oh, but then again, see, I've got all this braking to do yet, so I'm probably going to lose my average speed. Let's just see. Yeah, I lost it. So I will catch a tow from Norris. Well, I'll stay up high. He's a little ways away from me. I'll catch up very quick. You can see his second place is already in sight. So my one concern is, can I actually maintain average speed? I can fly by second place here. Don't have to worry about that. I'll set up the overtake here. And then I could, okay. My concern is that he's going to slow me down. But I think we'll be okay. I'll just, don't get too close. If you start really tapping the car in front of you, he's going to nail the brakes. Even if you get super close, they start to drive kind of crazy. Oh, I'm actually going to lose the slipstream. Okay, well, great. I'm not worried. Now I'm not worried. I'll catch him at Parabolica, and he'll give me a tow all the way to the start-finish line. And I'm not going to get too close to him. Oh, this is nice. Oh, because we're in the last stage, and now we're probably at about the required PR. Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed. Okay, well, this is going nice and smooth. I've maxed out my earnings, so I'm just showing you. You'll see there in the end screens. This is the last race here. With degrading tires or degrading brakes. That's disappointing, but hey, that happens, right? That's real racing. Things like that happen where there's a glitch with your car, and you've got to win. So we got to find a way to win this. Very interesting. So I'm showing you the earnings that I would have had if I didn't max out my earnings. There's a couple of races I had to do twice. Oh wow, look at those brakes. Oh, and they're not regenerating. Oh, interesting. Okay, well, oh, it regenerated a little bit. Very little, though. So you got to be aware of that. You got to pound those brakes very early. But because of that, I can take this full throttle. Oh, he wasn't in my way. I'd full throttle that one. Oh, well, got the lead. The Scary chicane, I can just lift. Don't need to brake. I'll just lift a little bit earlier than I would brake. Let's just get a look at this. Yeah, lift a little bit. Ooh, nice sliding through there. Hey, I need to do a donut yet. I need to do a victory donut. I gotta do it. I gotta fit a victory donut in here. Okay, I'm doing it, guys. I'm gonna do a victory donut. Because this is the last race, and so they didn't give us a chance. I've got to do a victory donut, okay? This is gonna be risky. Okay, gotta carry some momentum. Come on. Okay, one full donut. Oh, that's risky. I better block. There he is. Okay, guys, I'll show you the upgrades again. Please like, please subscribe, check out some other videos. I'll give the Interlagos tour video, information about that. And choose my car. Definitely choosing the car I just spent my money on. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Best of luck out there on the track as you get your new Formula One car for 2024.